I'm just saying that the overtime format for the postseason is stupid.
What he said.
Let's talk football.
Was that too difficult?
Not difficult at all. Had that been thrown, we would have been seeing the battle of the two GOATs.
You know. Okay, so I want to go ahead and, I know it's been talked about to death, but what else are we going to open up with?
Saints got screwed. That is the topic of this show. Saints got screwed.
So that's been talked about, I want to say all week. It feels like all week.
It's been talked about nonstop since the play happened. And like here's my thing, and here's my problem. It's like right after the game, immediately after the game, Sean Payton got a call from the NFL officiating office saying, "Hey, we screwed up. We messed up the call." So if you want to do that like immediately after the game, well, why don't you just make the call when it happened? I mean, it was obvious, clear as day. That was the most blatant missed call in NFL history. I can see I can honestly see if something like that happened during the regular season or something happened like that during the wild card divisional. But this was to determine who was going to the Super Bowl. Yeah, the game was tied 20-20. We can go on and on and on about what the Saints did wrong and what the Rams did right because I mean, both teams were neck and neck in the second half.
Yeah. So I think Jacques Doucet of The Advocate said it best here. Let me pull that up and then read it because I think it really kind of covers the issue perfectly.
Like, the call wasn't even debatable. Not debatable.
So Jacques Doucet of the Advocate here in Baton Rouge wrote this. As a sportscaster, I understand whining about officiating can be a crutch. It is often a lazy narrative and an easy way out when recapping a football game that played over 60 minutes and in this case in overtime. And yes, the New Orleans Saints missed numerous opportunities to win the game, early and late. Drew Brees and the offense clearly were not hitting on all cylinders. That being said, Sunday in the Superdome was an epic, historic, mind-numbing, and unfathomable blunder by a league that has often been accused of neutering their game to the point of flag football. That call is made 100 out of 100 times. It was in wide open space for the entire world and the officiating crew to witness. Head-to-head contact and pass interference. It was violent collision that occurred an eternity before the ball arrived. The NFL admitted as much to Saints head coach Sean Payton over the phone after the game. Now the league has gone dead silent and apparently has no public statement. It's Super Bowl time. Let's get pumped about the Patriots versus Rams. This missed call did not take place in the first quarter. It occurred in the final 2 minutes of regulation in a tied game, an NFC Championship game. The winner goes to the Super Bowl, in case you haven't heard. We'll never know for sure, but I'll say it. The New Orleans Saints are in the Super Bowl today. Had the officials made the call they have made 100 out of 100 times. It's just a game. Nobody died. Life goes on. But to the uninvested person who tells you to get over it or stop whining, you tell them to take a hike. Because contrary to what you have heard, officiating can cost a football team a game. Actually, one of the biggest football games ever. to be more precise. And it did Sunday. End quote.
That is the best way to put it. That is the perfect way to put it. And yeah, I mean the Saints, like Jacques Doucet said, they had numerous opportunities to win the game. But if you look at that missed call, had the flag would have been thrown, there would have been no overtime. Because all right, the Saints offense, they wasn't clicking on all cylinders. They was in the beginning of the game, but they took their foot off the gas pedal towards the end of the game, the second half, towards the end. But a unit that was in sync and that was firing on all cylinders was the Saints defense. And the way they were able to pressure Jared Goff, the way they were able to stop the run, because Todd Gurley was not a factor in that game.
No.
Mainly, they had to rely on C.J. Anderson to run the ball, and that wasn't happening against that Saints front seven. So, so if you look at it, Saints, if they go first and goal, well, they can either score a touchdown, force the Rams to go the length of the field, or they can kneel it a couple times because the Rams only had like one timeout.
Yeah, they have one timeout. So then that's what I was going to say. You first and 10, deep inside Rams territory, less than 2 minutes ago. Rams have one timeout. You take 3 knees, you kick the game-winning field goal, game's over.
Because, I mean, in first and goal, I mean, Will Lutz is always automatic, almost all the time. So you look at it, I mean, and everybody can say, had that call been made, it would be Patriots and Saints, a battle between the two goats of the league, Drew Brees and Tom Brady.
Yeah, I did notice, speaking of Patriots versus Rams, I did notice that, obviously the Rams and Patriots faced off in Tom Brady's first Super Bowl 17 years ago. Well, they just had the Patriots versus the Eagles last year. Officially, I guess you could say, a rematch of the 2004 game. So what is next season? Patriots versus Panthers 2?
I don't know about the Panthers, but I do feel that this may be Tom Brady's last Super Bowl. I mean, it could probably be a replay of his very first Super Bowl, and how fitting for his last Super Bowl to be against the very team that he won his first ring against. The team he won his first ring against could be the same team he can win his last ring against. I mean, it sounds fitting. But Tom Brady, he's not going to retire until he gets tired. So,
yeah, but does Tom Brady even know when Tom Brady gets tired?
Absolutely not.
I know. I thought he was looking tired this year, and then the playoffs started. So,
Well, honestly, I don't even think the Rams don't have the firepower to stop Tom Brady. I mean, it was obvious. Looking at how Todd Gurley played against the Saints, it's obvious Todd Gurley is not quite yet 100%. He's probably not to where, as far as health-wise, to where the Rams want him to be. Now, I do stand to be corrected. I mean, Todd Gurley might be 100% come the Super Bowl, and Sean McVay will.
He's got 2 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, Sean McVay will. I mean, it's obvious he is going to empty his clip offensively against the Patriots. And Bill Belichick, he's going to do what Bill Belichick always does. Tom Brady is going to do what Tom Brady always does. And so, I mean, the Rams, don't be fooled by what you saw from Tom Brady this regular season, because in the playoffs, when the lights get bright, you see Tom Brady shine brighter than the pearly gates of heaven. So, I mean, it's a great analogy because, I mean, that's how Tom Brady does in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel that, you got a young Rams team. I feel that they're going to get overwhelmed by the pressure. They're going to get overwhelmed by the hype. And I really feel that because that missed call is going to really be the one that's going to haunt the Rams, that's going to bite them in the back. Because honestly, the best team I can honestly say in this Super Bowl that the Patriots the best team out of the AFC will not be going against the best team in the NFC.
No, I don't think that's true of either league.
Oh yeah, forgot the Chiefs. It's been a long day. I just got off from work, so
yeah. Well, no, I fully agree with that, and it's like it's my understanding that I didn't watch the Chiefs Patriots game, or most of it anyway. It's my understanding that there was also some controversial calls in favor of the Patriots.
Well, Tom Brady threw a pick, and then it got overturned because of an offside penalty on one of the Chiefs' defensive linemen. I think his name is D. Ford. That call can be debatable. And I kind of want to go back to the Rams-Saints call controversies because Skip Bayless, he's from Undisputed with Shannon Sharp, and he put it in great perspective that the worst missed call in NFL history, probably since the Tuck rule, the Dez Bryant catch call against Green Bay, that's something that could be debatable because of the catch rules in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
But that missed call, that was not debatable. Like, and Mike Pereira, who is one of the best officiating minds in the NFL, he even said himself, that was a blatant missed call. As y'all can see, I'm still salty over it, and I'm never going to get over it. And I just want to let you know that, and Cam Jordan said it in a post-game interview that, we got to be able to, we have to learn how to play to a point to where officiating cannot touch us. So the way I see it, Sean Payton is going to try and bred his guys for next season to play flawless, but also be ruthless at the same time.
Well, let's talk about that a little bit because I've always thought that Saints offense kind of almost peaked at mid-season.
They did. I mean, they put up 45 against LA. They have put up 51 against Cincinnati. They put up 48 against Philadelphia. I mean, even in the loss against Tampa Bay, they put up 40 against Tampa Bay. Though they lost that game, in week 1. That was when defense was all out of sync.
Well, it's like, I don't know what happened, but that the receivers, the young receivers. I mean, Michael Thomas obviously had a fantastic season from start to finish, but the guys who were making plays when Thomas was being double teamed earlier in the year just kind of disappeared.
Ted Ginn was on IR for the longest, and then Traquan Smith, he had a hard time, trying to stay consistent with his performance. He's a rookie, and he's going to develop with time. And that's actually one of the reasons why they brought Keith Kirkwood from the practice squad. I mean, he made some good plays throughout the season.
Yeah, Keith Kirkwood definitely had some big plays during the season, but both of them, I think Kirkwood was out on injury for that game. But
Cam Meredith, I mean, he got put on IR. I mean, didn't see a lot from him. Austin Carr, we didn't see a lot from him.
Well, young guys just kind of, when the going got tough, they kind of disappeared after that Dallas game. The offense just was not the same after that for Lord knows what reason.
And for the longest, I didn't give Dallas credit because, I had felt that the Saints wasn't going at 110% like they always do offensively. And I just figured that maybe the Cowboys caught them sleeping. And that the Cowboys didn't really find the blueprint to stop that high-powered Saints offense. And then now that I look at how the Saints offense played to the end of the season and then in the playoffs, and it just goes to show maybe the Cowboys did come up with a blueprint to stop that Saints offense. Maybe they did.
I think they took the confidence out of the inexperienced players.
It was as if like Drew Brees, he kept his confidence as a quarterback. I mean, he's been in the league.
Drew Brees was he played the same. He was the same Drew Brees after that game. It was the receivers,
just the guys around him.
It was outside of Kamara out of the backfield and Benjamin Watson every now and then, and Michael Thomas is like the other guys, Keith Kirkwood, Traquan Smith. They just kind of disappeared after that game.
To say that players from a Saints offense disappeared, that's a tough statement to say, but it was true. Because the Saints have always been known for their offense, and their offense did struggle, which was a huge concern going into the playoffs, considering the teams that were in the playoffs. And honestly, and like I said, other than the Saints, the most dangerous team in the playoffs, in my opinion, was the Chicago Bears.
Just think about what happened in the NFC title game, which ended up leading to one of their field goals, was Dan Arnold dropping a touchdown. That was not the first touchdown he dropped for the season.
Just the thing, if Dan Arnold would have caught the ball, Saints would have won that game, missed call or not.
Yeah, they had their opportunities, but like I've been saying, is like you got Michael Thomas now who?
Now Ted Ginn, he did step up in that game. He made some big catches for us. Ted Ginn,
I don't want to take away from the Rams. They came and played one hell of a game.
They did. Jared Goff, he kept his composure very well because it was loud. At first he had a hard time with the noise. He had a really hard time, him and Sean McVay both.
Yeah,
But he calmed down.
That was obvious to start the game.
And he kept his confidence. And it's good having a young coach like Sean McVay, a guy who can reach to Jared Goff, a guy that can relate with Jared Goff. It's good to have a coach like that. And that's why a lot of teams are doing their own little Sean McVay experiments.
Yeah, say the Sean McVay experiments is putting it lightly. That's everybody going out and hiring coaches that have no head coaching experience. There's 7 spots. There were 7 spots available. 6 of them are now filled. All 6 of them have actually, I'm sorry, Gase. I forgot about Adam Gase. But 5 of them have no previous head coaching experience.
Well, at least NFL head coaching experience. I mean, Cliff Kingsbury, he used to be head coach at Texas Tech. But
coaching in college is a little bit different.
It's a lot different because, you're dealing with a different caliber of players. In college, you're looking at guys who want to go to the pros, and they're willing to do what you say, and you pull the strings, they dance. But in the pros, now you're dealing with guys who are getting paid millions, to do what they do. And for a guy that doesn't have any previous professional coaching experience, it can be kind of hard. There's going to be growing pains. There's going to be clashing of heads. And so Coach Kingsbury, he has to establish his dominance and establish his will and basically impose his iron will early and often. I feel that's what Sean McVay did. He came in, he said, this was his intentions on being the head coach. He established his will. He established his presence. Yeah, he's young. He's pretty short and whatever, but he has a presence on him.
Yeah. So what did you think about the Patriots game? I didn't watch it. I didn't want to watch it, to be honest with you. I
was salty about the Saints game.
Yeah, I was too upset over that to really care. But
I didn't watch too much of the Patriots game.
So what do you think of, do we need a new, I know how I feel about this, but I want to hear from you. Do we need a new overtime format for the pros? Because Patriots, they won the toss. Select to get the ball, and low ball. Wouldn't you guys? Tom Brady leads the Patriots down the field.
I feel we do need a new overtime rule because all right, so here's the overtime rules for the NFL. The team that receives the ball, you score a touchdown, they win. Now, if they score a field goal or they turn the ball over, the other team has a chance to score.
Mm-hmm.
And during the regular season, there's only one overtime. So after that, if y'all still tied, it's a tie. College don't play that.
No.
You're going to score until a defense steps up. And I feel that's how NFL should be. Now, as far as starting on a 25-yard line like college, don't do that, NFL. No, don't do that.
Yeah.
But I do feel that, say the team that receives the ball first, that wins the toss, of course, they're going to pick receive. If they score a touchdown, the other team should get a chance to retaliate. Go down the field.
That's why I don't get that. I really don't. Why don't they just change it? I'm so sick and tired of seeing stuff like Tom Brady march his team down the field in overtime, score, game over, yay, Super Bowl. And then the other team doesn't. Patrick Mahomes never got a chance to step on the field in overtime.
Because I guarantee you, if the Chiefs had a chance to score a touchdown, Patrick Mahomes is going to drive them boys down the field. Knowing Patrick Mahomes and how he's played this season for the Chiefs.
And I'll even use the 2009 season. This is like the first time they had that argument. That actually, the Saints just went down, kicked the field goal, game over. Vikings never stepped on the field. To me, the NFL overtime, especially come playoff time, this is when it's just absolutely stupid. It's just stupid. It's like, that's not an overtime competition. That's
NFL being lazy.
Yeah, that's whoever wins the coin toss has the best chances of winning the game.
Look, and I don't care if it's going to be all night. Let it be all night because, everybody's getting paid. So, y'all getting paid to do it? We'll do it. If y'all got to do it all night, do it all night.
Is it really that difficult to organize something like, I don't know, like an 8-minute quarter?
It's not difficult.
Not a whole full 15 minutes. Fine. I understand not wanting to play a full 15 minutes, but was that really an overtime game?
In my opinion, overtime, you just get rid of the game clock. Just let the teams go at it, at least in the playoffs, because that's where it's win or go home. So at least in the playoffs,
Right.
overtime, honestly, in my opinion, there should be no game clock in overtime. Kind of like on a college level. No game clock. Of course, put the play clock up, but no game clock. Let the two teams go at it. And wherever defense steps up first, wins the game.
You know, well,
Simple as
fine.
that.
Then why not have different overtime rules for the playoffs than the regular season? I can understand wanting to get a game over with during the regular season, but this is the playoffs. You know, when the other team doesn't have the opportunity to retaliate or respond or answer or however you want to phrase it, how is that fair football?
It's not. It's
The
not
other
fair.
team didn't step on the field. The Patriots defense didn't have to step up and stop the Chiefs one last time.
They wouldn't have stopped Patrick Mahomes one last time. They wouldn't have. I guarantee
You know,
you.
and I'll go back when the first time we had this actual conversation, and that was the 09 after the 09 championship game. Okay, Brett Favre, he never got to see the field in overtime. Why? Because the Saints immediately went down.
I thought he did.
No.
Because I think they drove down the field and Tracy Porter picked them off. Or that was the end of the fourth quarter?
Yeah, that was the end of the fourth quarter.
I got you.
So, you know, I just want to say my argument is not here because I'm picking favorites. I'm just saying that the overtime format for the postseason is stupid.
What he said. I definitely concur. I definitely agree with everything you're saying.
So how do you think how do you think that this Super Bowl reflects looking back at the season as a whole?
Lots of up and downs because, to be honest, all right, in the beginning of the season, Patriots were one of my picks to go to the Super Bowl. Well, they're going to the Super Bowl. But I really feel that we saw a different New England team in the playoffs than in the regular season because based off their play in the regular season, I did not expect the Patriots to make it far in the playoffs. Considering the teams that are in there, I really thought that the LA Chargers had a chance to beat them. I really thought LA, they didn't put their best foot forward going into Foxborough. And in playoff time, Foxborough was probably the hardest place to play in the AFC. Looking at the Rams, I knew that they were going to be dominant. I knew that they were going to be a force to be reckoned with, considering all the playmakers they got on their team. Jared Goff getting more experience. Sean McVay got the team on the right direction. You got Todd Gurley. They picked up Brandon Cooks in the offseason. But because of the competition in the NFC, like you got guys like the New Orleans Saints, and you got Chicago Bears and Philadelphia Eagles, defending Super Bowl champs, I thought LA didn't have the chest to get to the Super Bowl. Well, so what I learned is that anything can happen, and that you cannot rule anybody out, and you can't put anything past anybody.
I know. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. But I guess kind of what I was asking, like, does this Super Bowl seem fitting? Like how these two teams got here based on controversy? Does that seem fitting for the season, or is it? I don't know.
There's been a lot of controversy on and off the field this season.
It's
just been completely controversial. That's basically, this is the controversy bowl, basically.
It's just looking back in the year. There's just so much happened. It was actually a rather, when you really think about it, a rather bizarre year.
And and I kind of want to shift gears to the off season. Last off season was pretty bizarre as well. There was a lot of big changes. But I feel that we're going to be in for a much wilder off season because there's going to be a lot of departures. I see Miami letting go of Ryan Tannehill. I see Jacksonville getting rid of Blake Bortles. I see Philadelphia, they're going to do everything they can to get Nick Foles to a team because they know Nick Foles' potential. Honestly, I don't think Mark Ingram might be coming back to New Orleans. New Orleans, they might not put up the money that he wants.
So, obviously we have the Super Bowl coming up, but I wanted to save our Super Bowl matchup pregame show for when we go live Sunday or into Sundays. But so let's kind of transition to the off season a little bit. So I think the two things that are really going to be big, obviously, this offseason would be who lands Nick Foles, who's going to win the Nick Foles sweepstakes.
Another one is going to be is AB going back to Pittsburgh? That's going to be another one.
And
where's Le'Veon Bell going to end up?
Where's Le'Veon Bell end up? Who does he sign with? Because with Le'Veon Bell, the way I feel about it is there are a lot of teams out there that have a lot of cap space to pay him the money that he wants.
Another question, who's going to land Kareem Hunt? Because there have been reports that Kareem Hunt can end up on the team sooner than later.
And that is interesting, yeah. We can ask that, but they need to figure out that investigation first before Kareem even thinks about coming back.
No, there's going to be an owner that's going to be like, well, forget the past, come to the team. I mean, look what Washington did with Reuben Foster.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, they ended up dropping the charges against Foster, so
lucky him.
But yeah. So okay, so where does Nick Foles end up?
Well, I mean, there's some teams that are in need for a quarterback, and of course,
okay. First, let's be real. Nick Foles is not performing this way because he's just that talented. He performed that way because he's that developed, that polished, and he has a team around him.
And he's very well experienced. So I mean, if you're going to bring in Nick Foles, you got to make sure you play your cards right in the draft and in the free agency bracket. I feel that a team that he can probably go to, and there are some teams that are in need of quarterbacks, and they got weapons around them that still need developing. I feel that a good team can probably be Miami.
Miami's not a terrible landing spot.
I mean, they have Danny Amendola out there. You got Kenny Stills, Kenyon Drake. It's not too bad of a spot to land in. Another place that he could probably go to would be Jacksonville. Of course, Leonard Fournette's
I was thinking that Jacksonville just seems like a very good place. You already have the foundation of a elite defense. Offensively, they're not terrible.
I feel another good landing spot would probably be Buffalo. I mean, you need a quarterback, an actual quarterback that has been developed, that is polished, and that knows how to perform to mentor Josh Allen. If you do plan, here's my thing: if you plan on developing Josh Allen to be your franchise quarterback, you need to bring in somebody that's willing to take him under his wing. You need somebody that's going to be willing to take in Josh Allen and teach him and to help him hone his skills. I think Nick Foles would be a good quarterback to help out Josh Allen.
Do you really think Foles is going to want to sign a one and done contract? And let's be real. If he signs with Buffalo, he's not starting. Josh Allen is the starter for Buffalo.
You make a point there. I didn't really think about it from that perspective.
This is about Nick Foles getting his opportunity to start again.
Well, I mean, here are some options. I mean, you got Miami, you got Jacksonville.
That's basically it.
Yeah.
So, okay, Le'Veon Bell sweepstakes. Cleveland?
Well, Cleveland, they got Nick Chubb, and he actually had a pretty big rookie season. So I feel that Cleveland will be content with what they got. I feel that they have the guy in their minds that, as far as their starting running back is concerned, Nick Chubb is the guy. Especially being with a guy like Baker Mayfield, I feel that if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And so Nick Chubb and Baker Mayfield have been the 1-2 punch for that Cleveland offense all season long.
Okay, so Oakland?
That could be a good landing spot. They actually need a running back.
You got to remember, Bell's well more than just a running back.
He can be a guy that can protect the quarterback, and he can come out the backfield and make some plays.
So, okay. He's definitely not going to end up at Pittsburgh again. I don't see that.
Most definitely not. The way his tenure ended, most definitely not.
I'll see that.
And to be honest, Pittsburgh was stupid for not giving him a deal because, I mean, going into this season, Le'Veon Bell, arguably, in my opinion, is probably the best running back in the league, in my opinion. Just how versatile he is and how aggressive he is and the way he runs the ball and the way he can change a game for his team. Like, why not pay the guy? I mean, the guy proved that why he deserves more money, why he deserves a max deal. And Pittsburgh wasn't able to give it to him. And honestly, I mean, is Le'Veon Bell unrestricted in this offseason?
Yes. Although I want to say
because if he is unrestricted and Pittsburgh no longer has the rights to him, he can sign with whoever he wants, and I guarantee he's going to go for somebody in AFC North.
You know, here's the thing, though. I do believe that what I have heard is that there is a possibility that Pittsburgh can actually tag him again and then come to a sign and trade agreement.
And if that's the case, then AFC North's going to be out the picture because Pittsburgh is not going to deal their players to anybody in the division. That's not going to happen.
You got to sit there and think they're going to want to get something for Le'Veon Bell.
It's going to get Le'Veon Bell, you're looking at giving up a couple of draft picks and one of your top players.
You know, that's if Pittsburgh tags him again, because, you know, obviously Bell does not want to return to Baltimore. Pittsburgh.
And honestly, I think Pittsburgh going to pull a petty move. They're going to tag him, but they're probably not going to do a sign and trade deal. They're probably just going to keep him under that tag. I do see Pittsburgh pulling something like that, to be honest. I mean, after how Le'Veon Bell sat out and didn't return to the team until, you know, he wanted his deal and he didn't get it, so he was just like, you know, I'm not coming back.
Mm-hmm.
I feel that Pittsburgh will probably pull we're gonna go ahead and tag you, and they're probably not gonna do a sign and trade deal until they probably get a deal that they cannot refuse.
Yeah, I could definitely see that happening. I agree with that fully.
And so I think Pittsburgh got the mindset of, so Le'Veon wants to play these games, we'll play games with him as well. Because as long as Le'Veon Bell's not playing, he's not getting paid. He's missing out on game checks.
Well, I know.
So,
but there's somebody out there who's going to be willing to pay him. Probably not someone who's much of a contender, but you know.
I mean, you look at Khalil Mack. I mean, he wanted a max deal in Oakland. They didn't give it to him. And 48 to 72 hours later, Chicago gave him a deal that he didn't refuse, and now he's in Chicago. And now Chicago is a legitimate contender in the years to come.
Mm. Yeah, as long as they can just develop Trubisky a little bit better and maybe give him some real targets to throw to.
Well, I mean, that's where you got the NFL draft.
Anyway, so today's episode is going to end up being, I will say, a little bit short. I'm not sure what we're at, but 32 minutes.
Oh, that's not bad. I mean, time goes by fast when you're talking a lot.
Yeah. But we will be doing a live show for the Super Bowl, so no Let's Talk Football next week. We're not going to get on and talk the Pro Bowl. I know some of y'all are probably really excited to see that.
You know, the Pro Bowl, also known as the Joke Around Bowl. You know.
Yeah. Oh yeah. What do you think of Drew Brees and Michael Thomas turning down their Pro Bowl invites?
That's good for the NFL. You don't want us in the Super Bowl, we're not going to play in the Pro Bowl. Simple as that.
Yeah.
Drew Brees already has enough Pro Bowl selections. He's done it so many times before. And Michael Thomas, this is his second Pro Bowl selection. I mean, I feel Michael Thomas should have played in Pro Bowl. Drew Brees, I can understand. He's done it too many times before. Michael Thomas, this your second one. I mean, I'm pretty sure he knows that he's going to get playing more in the future if he keeps playing the way he's playing.
So officially, Dak Prescott and Amari Cooper is taking their place.
I think those are good replacements. I mean, Amari Cooper, the way he played, the way that he's contributed for the Cowboys, I think he deserves it. Because after the Cowboys got Amari Cooper, it's just the offense just turned over a new leaf. Dak Prescott became a lot more effective throwing the ball for the Cowboys, and he got a lot more comfortable, especially when Ezekiel Elliott found his second win, and Ezekiel Elliott found his awakening as far as running the ball and coming out the backfield contributing for that Dallas offense. Dallas, I feel that could be a force to reckon with, especially when you got a guy like Leighton Van Der Esch on that defense. And you have a guy like DeMarcus Lawrence, and you have guys like Randy Gregory out there. I mean, as much as I hate to say it, this Cowboys team can be a force to reckon with in the next few years.
Oh, they'll be good. I don't have any doubt about that. Super Bowl quality, I don't know. It all depends on what Dak does.
It's all going to depend on what, the moves that the Cowboys make in the offseason. The offseason can either make or break you, and I feel that because of the offseason, I feel that's what contributed to the Saints being such a contender this season, was the moves they made in the offseason, getting the defensive acquisitions.
Right. Okay, so that's been this episode of Let's Talk Football. I am John Behrens.
And I'm Joshua Perkins.
Find us online at aisportsnetwork.com. We're also on Facebook, Twitter, and the YouTubes. Signing out.
Let's talk football.